A vinaigrette is so much more than just a fancy way of saying salad dressing. Knowing how to make a vinaigrette is an insanely versatile and useful technique. You can use it to sauce a delicious piece of protein. You can use it to add a ton of flavor and mouthfeel to most ingredients, to be perfectly honest. And today, in hopefully 2 minutes or less, we are going to go through what a vinaigrette is, how to make it, a quick, easy little hack on how to always have vinaigrette around that like pretty much won't go off. And I'll even show you how to make a more like fancy vinaigrette that you can like mix and match with ingredients that you like and have around and want to like pair with whatever you're serving it with. But enough talking, let's jump straight into it and get this started. Okay, so what is a vinaigrette? At its most basic, a vinaigrette is a combination of oil and some sort of acidic ingredient, usually vinegar or lemon or lime juice, some sort of citrus juice. If you combine those two together, you can pretty much use it to like season a salad and it'll be like pretty delicious. But we can take it a little bit further. We can add obviously additional seasonings. So salt, the most important, but also you can add like spices and herbs and like chopped up onion, grated garlic, other things to add like flavor and depth to your vinaigrette, to this sauce. Also, incredibly importantly, what people will add is things that add flavor but also act to emulsify your vinaigrette. So at face value, oil and any sort of water don't like to combine, they stay separate. So by adding an emulsifier, which can be anything from mustard is a great one that adds a ton of flavor. Honey is a great one that adds a ton of flavor. These will keep your emulsion together, so keep your vinaigrette nice and creamy instead of just like separated oil and vinegar. Very simple. And using a vinaigrette, instead of just adding these ingredients separately to some like salad greens or whatever the case may be, is that it coats the ingredients much better. It doesn't like, the vinegar doesn't drip off, it doesn't pool at the bottom of like whatever salad bowl you're like mixing things in. And yeah, it's just this really amazing versatile sauce, dressing, etc, etc. So let's jump into actually making it, because it's super easy. This will take no time. Making a vinaigrette. Thankfully, this is super easy. We're gonna make the sort of like most basic version possible. I'm gonna talk you through the steps. So the most important thing is a ratio of an oil and a vinegar, or any other acidic ingredient, as I mentioned. We're going to be using a neutral oil. This is like some sunflower oil with some like other good omega-3 stuff mixed in. Doesn't really matter. For a very neutrally flavored vinaigrette, I like using neutral oils. Watch my video on oils if you want to know more about those. But an olive oil or even an extra virgin olive oil works amazingly. Extra virgin olive oil can be a little bit bitter if that's the only oil that you're using, but if you're pairing it with something like a rich meat or like a grilled vegetables or something, like you can take that amount of bitterness. I'm using this because it's going to be easy to demonstrate and you can see the nice little ratio. So you don't need to weigh it out, you can totally eyeball it, but I want this to be accurate since I want you guys to see it done well. The most important thing here is the ratio. Typically, or at least the way I learned it in culinary school, you want a ratio of 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. Now, I like my vinaigrettes quite acidic, so I go somewhere closer to 2 parts oil and 1 part vinegar. But that's just me. You can go like 3 parts oil, 2 parts vinegar for a nice little in-between, but you can like adjust based on what you're cooking. Now that's roughly 200 grams or milliliters of oil. Whether you do the ratio by volume or by weight doesn't really make much of a difference. So now to our oil, I'm going to be adding vinegar. The ratio I'm going to be using is 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar. Whether that is by volume or weight doesn't make much of a difference. They're kind of similar. I'm using balsamic because it's going to be nice and easy to demonstrate what we are doing over here. But you can totally do any your preferred like vinegar or like citrus juice. You can even do combinations. Like one of my favorites is white balsamic and lemon juice in equal parts. Sorry, I can't do 2 things at once. Yeah, so as you can see, the way that this is like settling in, we have our 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, and this would be like pretty much good enough as it is. The only thing I would do is add like a good pinch of salt. You can always add more salt to whatever you're adding. And I'm going to be adding an emulsifying agent. In this case, I'm adding Dijon mustard. Any mustard will do. Nice little scoop. Boop. And you can add any other sort of like flavoring agents that you want at this point. I'm adding black pepper just to keep it simple, but yeah, chopped up herbs will be good. You can use different spices, so things like chili flake, coriander, cumin, really nice and stuff like this. You can dice up like a shallot and like add that inside, grate some garlic. There's a ton of options. And now you might be wondering, Steve, why are you doing this inside of a jar? It's kind of weird, no? No, because the easiest way to emulsify things like this is, for me, to just shake it. and you end up with this beautiful emulsified vinaigrette. Now this won't like stay emulsified, and just for those who don't know, emulsification is basically the combination of oil and any sort of water. Vinegar in this case being the water. As you saw, they wanted to separate before, whereas now they are nice and homogeneous. This means that this solution, this nice combined homogeneous solution, will coat your salad so much better. It will act as a sauce so much better. And that's basically a vinaigrette. One thing which I would also recommend if you do want to make vinaigrettes and just like have them really easy to access and like use, something I like doing, this is a squeeze bottle. And so I don't make a bajillion vinaigrettes today, I'm going to add this to the squeeze bottle. And now I can just keep this inside of my fridge. It will not go off because like, well, it will take like a year plus to go off because Dijon mustard has a long shelf life, oil has a very long shelf life, vinegar has an insanely long shelf life, salt and pepper aren't going off. So you can literally keep this in your fridge for like months on end. It'll probably separate on you, but that's fine. All you need to do is give it a really good shake, and then it's just ready to like use and add to the salad. So just pull out of the fridge, take off the top, squeeze, squeeze to like any, even if it's just like a simple like handful of rocket leaves or something like that. Like it's so easy to have like a salad whenever you want. So that's basically a vinaigrette. Like it's super, super simple. Like I said, you can use like different combinations of ingredients, so you can play around a little bit. I actually made like a really cool vinaigrette yesterday. I'll show like some video footage of it, like maybe over here. And it was delicious. So it was basically a combination of oil and red wine vinegar, because I was going to be pairing it with the red meat, and I just thought it worked together really well. And then a bunch of herbs. So it was kind of like a salsa verde or like chimichurri adjacent. So it was like a bunch of parsley, there was a bunch of mint, I added some chili flake, a little bit of grated garlic. There was also some like Dijon mustard in there. And I blended that together. I used an immersion blender, which was like super easy. If you want like a smoother consistency, you can use a like standalone blender. And let me actually show you what it looks like. And this is that vinaigrette. Like it's really nice and green. You can go like even brighter than this. The red wine vinegar kind of muddies it in like a brown color. But the flavor is amazing. The aroma is amazing. I did like a potato salad with it. I used it as a salad dressing. I used it as a sauce for a really nice steak. And it was so good. Like it's a bit of a situation that I have like this much vinaigrette. I'll probably keep this long term. And this, because there's fresher ingredients like the garlic, like the herbs, I probably won't keep it for more than like, I don't know, 3-4 days, 4 or 5 days. I like smell it, see how it's going. But there are lots of preservatives in here. But the color will start to fade and things will start to taste a little bit weirder. There's no way that I got all of this done in under 2 minutes, but I think that this was a really, really valuable episode. Knowing how to make sauces is one of the most important things in your culinary arsenal to add a ton of flavor to a lot of different things. And this particular cold sauce is, I would say, one of the most versatile. You can actually make a hot version of this with like, I don't know, like warmed brown butter or like stuff like that. There are warm vinaigrettes, but that's like way more advanced stuff. Learn how to make these, come up with like some of your own recipes, mix and match different like herbs and spices and seasonings and flavors, and let me know what you guys like to use. I've been talking really fast for a while. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope you found it valuable, and please let me know if you want any more videos like these moving forward. Thank you very much. Have a great week, weekend. I don't know your life. Bye.